Hey everyone, my name is Rowana. I'm a nursing student from Australia and I am going into my final year of nursing school. Today I wanted to share with you some of the things I get up to on a typical day that I have an evening clinical placement shift. So I wake up at about 8 a.m, but I do stay in bed for a while playing on my phone. But once I do get up, I just like to make my bed because I feel like I definitely have a way more productive day when my bed is made. On days that I have placement, I do like to get out of the house when I can, and today I ended up going up to the gym and doing a bit of a workout. At the moment, I am doing the Keep It Cleaner workouts, and I can leave a link down below if that's something you're interested in looking into.
Could you hold me tight? Don't turn on the lights. I don't wanna fight with you.
I am currently recovering from a hip injury, so I do have to be careful of some of the exercises that I am doing, but I find that if I get out and do some sort of physical activity, I have a much more productive and energized clinical placement shift. After the gym, I headed to Woolworths to pick up a few snacks for my clinical placement, and as you can see, I do like to keep things pretty healthy if I can. And then I headed home and had a shower, blow dried my hair afterwards, and just tried to make sure that I was fully prepared to walk out the door when I needed to.
Could you hold me tight? Could you hold me tight?
Today I decided to have a look in the fridge and pantry and see what veggies I had available, and I ended up making a little vegetable curry to take with me for my placement. So I just put together some pumpkin and potato and lots of herbs and spices, coconut cream, and just kind of simmered it down to a really delicious curry. Put it together with some rice and some snacks that I picked up, and I'm pretty much good to go. I like to get to clinical placement pretty early so that I know I'm not going to be late and I have time to get a coffee if I want to. So I leave my house about 12:30 and we'll get to the hospital at about 1:15. I thought for this video I would put together a bit of an outline of some of the aims and considerations I have for a clinical placement shift like this. So the shift runs from 1:30 till 10 p.m. and we start off with a clinical handover from the previous staff, and we do have 2 breaks as well, which is awesome. So my aims for the shifts like these are to take on 2 patients for the workload, create care plans for both of them, and that includes things like when they have medication rounds, what patient orders have to be completed, if there's any considerations for meals or fluid balance and things like that. I will also go over any of the doctor's notes for the day, if there's any orders that they've put in as well, and if there's any relevant history that I need to look up for that patient. If there's anything that I don't understand, I will also try and research and look up what that involves so that I can fully understand what is going on with my patient. I am also involved in the medication administration rounds, and that's always under the supervision of the registered nurse that I'm with. And towards the end of the shift, we also write up the nursing progress notes, and I've been doing the A to G format as per the protocol for this current placement. We also do the clinical handover for each patient as well for the oncoming staff, usually about 9:30 p.m. Some of the considerations for a shift like this would be considering when your patient needs to have their observations taken, if they have to do those QID every 4 hours, every 1 hour. It can change depending on the severity of that patient's current medical condition, and whether they have an altered calling criteria for any of those observations as well. I like to know if my patient is not for resus and what kind of protocols for that ward are in place for any kind of rapid response or clinical reviews, and like where the crash cart is and that kind of thing. I like to make sure that my patient is either on a fluid balance chart, or if they have to have a fluid restriction, and make sure that they're adhering to those. I check if the patient has any drains, cannulas, catheters, if they're a post-op patient, looking at what kind of medications they're taking, trying to understand if they have any allergies or what kind of checks need to be done for those medications as well. I also like to think about any other holistic care considerations, if they need to have a social worker consult, if there's anything that the family needs to be aware of, and things like dressing changes that take time, I like to plan those as well. And kind of things like diet, are they nil by mouth for an operation, do they have any allergies, those kinds of things. So that's kind of what I like to think about for a typical clinical placement, and this is what I do get up to on a typical day for a clinical placement in the evening. If you have any questions, then please leave me a comment down below and I'd love to hear from you guys. If you'd like to see more from me and my channel, then please click the subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!